everybody, and welcome to an update to Shaddoll Trains. Now this is an archetype that kind of didn't really improve that much in Master Rule 5, except for being a little bit more consistent in its OTKs. Still a very fun archetype to play, and I'm still very much enjoying this. This is more of like a basic build because of like the old things I have, as well as just kind of like working around with a little bit more new stuff. Including like the format stuff. Also, I only have one Gustav Max in here because I wasn't able to get my hands on a second one. But yeah, it's just a really cool deck. And if you enjoy the channel stuff, don't forget to like, subscribe. If you want to see more stuff from me, let me know your thought in the comments down below because it's really helped me to interact with the community and just hear your guys' thoughts. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. So starting things off, I'm actually running a card that a lot of people think like you need only to run a 2 or even 1. I like 3 copies still of Night Express Knight. If they will find another best rank 10, or should I say level 10 to have in your main deck, I would say sure. I might cut this one to 2 or even 1 or even completely. But the fact that you don't really have a whole lot of level 10s is actually really important. A lot of people just forget that you do need the level 10s because otherwise you cannot make your Levi and all that stuff. So even though it's a normal summonable level 10 that doesn't really do anything and stuff like that people think, I still think like Night Express Knight is pretty good. Then we're running 3 copies of Derek Crane. Derek Crane is just you summon an Earth Machine for your special summon and also have a nice popping effect, which is really cool. Then 3 copies of Bullet Train. Bullet Train is just if you control all Earth Machines, you get to special summon your Earth Machines. You get to special summon this from your hand, only if you control Earth Machines, like I said. And then during the end phase is just a recycler for level 10 Earth Machines from your grave, which is really cool. Then for your small trains, you're running 3 copies of Pegasus. Pegasus is just a monster reborn for your monsters that can be summoned from in defense position, so no Link's shenanigans. You do negate their effects, but he can make himself the same level of that one, which is really nice. Then 1 copy of Refleon Rail Car. This one is just if you need to, and if you're going first to help you kind of like send it to the graveyard during the end phase or whatever, and then get a search. And then just like, oh, if you did that, it just help you set up for next turn. You don't really need this one, and if we'll get a better level 4, I think this one will be cut down completely. Goes with both of these, but I do think that both of these are just still very much necessary. I do think that Night Express Knight is better than Raphael Rail Car though. So that's pretty much does it for the railroad, I guess, monsters or trains. Now we'll move on to the mini Infinitrack engine. 2 copies of Uncle Drill, 2 copies of Brutal Dozer, and then the 1 copy of Trencher. This one engine is just proved to me so much that it's so useful. Uncle Drill is just really nice. It helps you unclog your hand and just summon the train that you need or anything else. I do see some people also running Harvester to just pretty much search this and just special summon, but I'm still not 100% sure that I just want to go full Brutal Dozer. Also, we're getting a continuous spell that kind of does the same thing and just search for you Brutal Dozer anyway. Maybe I'll run Harvester and that search spell, but we'll see once Eternity Code will come out. So that's pretty much for that. This one special summon, this one you special summon after tributing an Earth Machine and getting an Earth Machine from the deck. Pretty much going to be this one, which also kind of raised the question that I might want to run one of the Infinitracks Xyz, but this one in the graveyard you banish it and you're getting one of your Infinitracks back, which is level 5 or lower, which is really cool. So these have really nice applications, especially with Urgent Schedule, which is pretty powerful. Then for the Shaddolls, because this is Shaddolls trains, you do run 1 copy of Beast for draws and 1 copy of Dragon, which mostly you use for popping. I don't think I need to explain that one. And then the last card I run, probably going to be cut in the future, again, like I said, with some cards like that. We'll see how that goes. 1 copy of Exodius. Exodius is just, again, just a nice level 10. You shuffle things back, special summon, get him on board, and he's just giving you an easy rank 10 fodder. It should be noted that the reason why I want to cut this one is because he become a little bit more or less and less powerful because of all of the Earth Machine synergy, because they do lock you for only Earth Machines. So I do kind of like, I don't know about this one, but for the time being, it's just the best one I have at the moment. And then lastly, for the monsters, we're running 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. I don't think I need to explain this one. It's pretty much should be obvious. It's just the best hand trap in the game at the moment, in terms of at least the more, you know, affordable ones. Starting with the spells, you're having 3 copies of Revolving Switchyard and 1 copy of Terraforming to search it. Revolving Switchyard is really nice. You can either if a level 10 Earth Machine is normal or special summoned, except during the damage step, you can activate the effect of like your opponent take no battle damage, and then you summon a level 4 Earth Machine and it becomes 10, which is again not the most optimal, but it's just really nice sometimes, like if your opponent first, you go first, so this will help you. But the effects that you actually want to have is a secondary effect, which is discard 1 card, or should I say send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and then add 1 level 10 Earth Machine from your deck to your hand, which can really help you. Let's say you open up like with 2 of these, you can discard 1 of them to get like, for example, a Derek Crane, and just have your plays a little bit more consistent. The secondary effect is the one that you're going to use mostly. Then 3 copies of Urgent Schedule, because it's a broken card to start you going first. 3 copies of Shaddoll Fusion, again another card that just really help you going first. Infinitrack Engine, should be noted, is really good with this. You essentially summon Uncle Drill and essentially also Trencher. You use Uncle Drill and Trencher to whatever you want for link plays or whatever. Bring up with the Trencher back the Uncle Drill and just get an additional special summon from the hand. And this one is just really nice to have, because you all know what Shaddoll Fusion does. And then for your spells, we're running off with the one-offs. We're running 1 Monster Reborn. Revival is just really nice. 1 Succession, because we do run a number of Xyzs that we sometimes want to summon to their links, and because it's Master Rule 5, we don't have to summon to their links to begin with. So this just serves sometimes as like, oh, we're summoning an Xyz somewhere else. This one will just revive some monsters that we need anyway. And then 1 monster Foolish Burial, because you know it just really nice to sometimes foolish your Infinitracks as well as your trains if you need to. Then lastly, we do run 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone to get rid of those annoying pesky back rows, as well as you know, the annoying Mystic Mine, which I don't really see that much anymore, but it's still, even, it's kind of weird. Mystic Mine is kind of weird for me right now, but yeah, I just don't want to deal with that. So that does it for the main deck. Now I'll move on for the extra decks. First off, let's start with the fusions. 2 copies of Shakinaga, you don't really need more than that. You have the option to summon 2, which is really nice, and it also can recycle for you back the fusion spell, which is really cool. 2 copies of Libe, yeah, just 2 sometimes is necessary. I sometimes think like I only need 1, but I most of the time think like 2 is just sometimes what you need if you're forced to. 2 copies of Super Dora if you're forced going first. Also, you could summon these 2 really easily now because of the so-called Master Rule 5, because you don't really force to go into links. I would not say like super easily, but a lot more easier. Then 1 copy of Gustav Max. I unfortunately don't have a second copy because quarantine and stuff like that, but 1 Gustav Max is most of the time what you need. Again, you can make a second one and then just burn for 4,000 and have this on one of them, and just like, you know, OTK a lot more easier, but I just don't see that being an issue that much. And then 1 copy of Ravelous Tarantula, because, yeah, if you want this could be a second Gustav Max. I don't see any reason to run any other of the so-called rank 10 Earth Machines or so-called rank 10s, because they're not just that useful as you may think, and they might require a lot more resources, or just they're the wrong attribute. So yeah. Then for the links, we're running 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, because, you know, you just want to deal with back row. 1 copy of Cleave4 Genius, because you want to deal with sometimes with an annoying effect, and you just have 2 arrows, which could be nice. Again, a card that I might think to cut down in this Master Rule, because it's kind of feeling less necessary, because again, your Xyz could just not use this, but it's just still pretty nice to have, I guess. 2 copies of Ungoronuckle, because Ungoronuckle is just your main link monster. Again, one of those cards that you might want to cut at 1. I just don't really have the capabilities to actually think like the extra deck is that important. it's important in some points. It's not really important in that other points, and I do miss some Xyz monster stuff like that. Anyway, Infinitrack Goliath, really important one-off, and then the last one is Pentastag, because it just helps you with piercing damage, which actually become a little bit more important than you think, because sometimes your opponent will put things in defense position, because now we'll have a little bit more fusion, Xyz, and synchros. So yeah, that's actually pretty much a bigger option. So that pretty much does it for the Shaddoll Trains deck profile. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Hope you guys have enjoyed. It's just really fun to do. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this one. See you guys next time. This was a really cool update to do. Just let me know what you think in the comments down below in order to improve this. And I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe, guys. Remember, creativity is the key in this game. And yeah, like I said again, stay safe in the quarantine. Bye-bye.